Anger's abode is very near our tranquil mind. Anger and calmness live together. A change in situation and anger displays its tooth and claw, and serenity vaporizes. Amygdala in the brain pounds. Yet the calm mind sinks somewhere.
वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई
We may imagine that the 20th century is the age of anger, but the 21st century is no different than that of the crusading Middle Ages and of the Mongols and of the Victorians. What happened in Sobibor and Sarajevo is no different than what happened in Pearl Harbor and the atom bomb in the cities, and even the rat race of capitalism.
कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे
From street violence to honor killing, misogyny, protecting cows by lynching others, religious persecution of the Rohingyas, colonialism, America first, nationalism to racism, anger is the most brutal emotion that pervades over all such ideas, attitudes, and actions. A journalist in Hungary tripping a refugee parent with a baby who tumbles on the ground is as disturbing as lynching the black boy in the plantations in America. Neil Ferguson, in his book, The War of the World, asks something like, who ate the bodies in Auschwitz? I think we all ate them. Moral Europe and America, we South Asians, and you, we all ate them. I always wonder, how did the age of Europe sleep in the night when humanity was charred into the gas chambers? What moral leaders dreamt in the night when the whole world was witnessing Nelson Mandela in Robben Island? I was a schoolboy then, and I always wondered, how can he be in jail for 27 long years? I was always angry, simply angry, not causing harm to anyone. And still, to talk about anger is to be angry. This is the image of goddess Durga, a very powerful mythological being. We can observe that this is the moment of death blow by a deity of cosmic proportion to an equally powerful opponent, Mahishasura. The goddess pierces her lance into the chest of the evil incarnate. Her anger disguised, or is it the eternal smile of rays? Is she looking at a distance while killing the demon because the evil is insignificant? Why is she in a meditative detachment away from the target? Why is the target not targeted? The lance pierces the chest of the demon who looks helpless while she smiles, looking elsewhere. What engagement! The victor is not angry and the vanquished is not in terror, but in a posture of compassionate sublime. Is he stupefied by the indifferent look of the goddess? The ultimate moment of death is the ultimate moment of union between the evil and the supernatural. How is anger displayed? In the narrative of war representing Durga and Mahishasura. We will try to know, or we will ask multiple questions to ourselves. This is the first version of Medusa's head painted by Caravaggio in 1596. Medusa is a character from Greek mythology. Do the hissing snakes of Medusa echo the pain of being raped? Medusa is the victim. Poseidon had raped her inside the temple of the virgin goddess Athena. The goddess, as punishment, had transformed her face because she had defiled the sacred by being raped. Raped and transformed, the innocent was victimized twice in the same harrowing sequence. There was a rivalry between Medusa and Athena. Who was more beautiful? Medusa certainly was, as the narratives depict her. The hissing head of Medusa is the memory of the past. It reveals her extreme anger. Does her face justify the anger and pain of being raped, exiled, transformed and murdered? Or is it too little an expression because the sky does not fall upon Poseidon, Athena and Perseus? Perseus carries her head to protect himself from the enemies because her face turns the onlookers into stones. If we do not know the story, we only understand that one of the heroes had slain one of the Gorgons. But when we do know, we internalize the unbearable pain inflicted on her body. Hence, the hissing face of Medusa. But such anger is dysfunctional in the modern times because the male is always the hero, the victim is always defiled. But Perseus is the myth of catabasis. But Medusa's anger is eternal. You kill and avenge, and I will wet and tie my hair with the blood of my archenemy. Decades of my loosened lock I will tie, and I will avenge the humiliation by his blood. This is how Draupadi has taken the vow. The mythical epical hero of the Mahabharata, Bhim, tears away the chest of Dushasana and takes the blood out to wet the unfastened locks of Draupadi, who had promised to tie her hair only if Bhim kills Dushasana. Previously, Dushasana had dragged her from her room to the court, mortifying her in front of the male gathering of the heroes of the clan. She had pleaded that she was in a menstrual phase. Yudhishthira had lost his property, his kingdom, his brothers, and Draupadi to the prince Duryodhana in a game of dice. One of the supreme gods of Hindu mythology, Vishnu, had to bear perpetual hatred of Hiranyakasipu, the demon, Prahlad's father. Prahlad was Vishnu's devotee. Hiranyakashipu crosses the limits of hatred by punishing his son for being the follower of his archenemy, the god. But the son was saved multiple times by Vishnu. Finally, Narasimha, the incarnation of Vishnu with the face of a lion and a body of a man, descends to the earth to kill Hiranyakashipu. The demon king was formidable because he was blessed with the immortality of not being killed by any living creature or non-living object, neither inside nor outside a residence, neither on the ground nor in the sky, and not by any weapon. The creator god Brahma had blessed him thus. Narasimha is part human, part animal, and part divine. He chooses the twilight. He chooses the threshold. and puts the demon on his thighs and tears him with his nails, and thus kills the evil incarnate. The anger has the double bind of form, God's form, which is none that exists, unique and only one that exists, and ceases to exist after accomplishing the task. The time which is in between, the space which is neither in nor out, and the nails which are neither a weapon nor not a weapon. The other form of anger is Vishnu, who recreates his own laws of nature by dodging the law of Brahma. He finds fissures and loopholes in the blessing of invincibility of the Supreme God Brahma.
What impact does this anger, in all its terrible forms, have upon an impressionable child like Prahlad? He is visibly standing and praying here, really terrified to witness the death of his own father in the most excruciating manner, amidst the roar of the victor, which is very unimaginable and unearthly, and where his father is experiencing the most terrifying pain. He is caught in the moment of darkness and light, as if it is a waking dream. He is indeed juxtaposed with a salvation brought about by the very act of killing. Indeed, it is a motherless moment in masculinity. Indeed, does Prahlad really need to celebrate this anger through his sense of devotion? Is this sense of devotion really needed to foreshadow the killing of his own father? Does Prahlad really celebrate this anger which is achieved through his eternal sense of devotion? In other words, does this sense of devotion really foreshadow the killing of his own father?
Anger is the lack of anything sublime, and yet it is the moment of salvation for the world. Is anger necessary to free humankind of evil? Were Gandhi's actions and ideas over the British Empire anger? Is satyagraha an expression of anger? If anger is expressed to right the wrong, Gandhi in that sense was angry. Gandhi's self-restraint and conscious suffering may have been the bhava or emotion called avega or agitation performed on the real life drama. The calm of the Mahatma of Ahimsa and Satyagraha had the underlying anxiety for freedom. He writes, when a person claims to be non-violent, he is expected not to be angry with one who has injured him. He will not wish him harm. He will wish him well. He will not swear at him. He will not cause him any physical hurt. He will put up with all the injury to which he is subjected by the wrongdoer. Thus, non-violence is complete innocence. Non-violence for Gandhi can be understood in terms with the consequence of not being angry. He does not seem to say that non-violence is not anger. A non-violent person will not wish you harm, but will wish you well. Instead of what non-violence is, Gandhi is talking about the expectation and wish from a non-violent person. Since the actor does not harm or injure the acted upon, it is the force of the will to be innocent and calm. Gandhi's non-violence with the goal of freedom is the political counterpart of goddess Durga's meditative calm. Gandhi's political will cuts deep across the idea of anger as transformation into self-sacrifice. Anger does not disappear, but is transformed into an emancipatory force of the will. This is where anger is tamed into the creative act of liberation.